Ukrainian forces recaptured some areas from Russian forces near the northern city of Chernihiv as Ukrainian troops entered the village of Sloboda, about 12 miles from the city. The establishment of this village marked Ukraine's attempt to break the Russian encirclement in Chernihiv. This can be considered as one of the first key battles in the process of breaking the siege. Chernihiv is located about 90 miles northeast of the capital Kiev. A statement by Ukrainian officials said that during the night, early this morning, fighting was still fierce despite Russia's announcement that it would reduce its military intensity around Kiev, the Ukrainian capital and north of the city of Chernihiv. According to the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, the Russian army continues to conduct a comprehensive military operation, while the Ukrainian armed forces try to defend in the east, southeast and northeast directions. Vyacheslav Chors, the governor of the Chernihiv region, said the city was subjected to a heavy attack by both air and artillery throughout the night. War correspondents on the Kiev front noted that fierce fighting continued on the outskirts of the Ukrainian capital. Near the city center of Irpin heard the sound of explosions shooting out and shooting into the city. The rocket artillery systems fired in salvos at the last checkpoint between Kiev and Irpin, accompanied by salvos of infantry guns that fired sharp projectiles. The mayor of Irpin, Alexander Markishin, said that up to half of the city had been destroyed, the infrastructure was severely damaged and the rubble could not be cleaned up. The mayor of Irpin said that the Ukrainian army was now in complete control of the city after a successful counterattack, and said that despite the fierce fighting, many people remained in the city. The organization of the supply of clean water and energy has not been able to proceed because it is too dangerous right now, because the city is still under constant shelling, said Mr. Markishin. In another development, the Pentagon said that some units of the Russian army that are besieging Kiev have moved to Belarus. Specifically, the U.S. Department of Defense's press secretary John Kirby said that in the past 24 hours, a small part of the Russian army was operating around the Ukrainian capital, redeploying its forces, including those returning to Ukraine. About Belarus. However, Mr. Kirby said, we don't see that they are redeploying their forces to the base barracks and said that the US Army believes that the above forces are withdrawing to Belarus mainly to consolidate and replenishment before being deployed to another front in Ukraine. He emphasized that Kiev is still under shelling and airstrikes, while the main Russian forces continue to maintain a siege in the Ukrainian capital. Belarus is also where the Russian military units occupied at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant have withdrawn. The state company in charge of Ukraine's Chernobyl isolated region, Energoatom, reports that units of the Russian army occupying the decommissioned Chernobyl nuclear power plant have left the plant into convoys of about 100 vehicles arriving at Belarus. The company further added, when Russian forces withdrew from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, they took with them members of the Ukrainian National Guard. These people were held hostage by Russia from 24 over 2 inches. The U.S. Department of Defense also confirmed that Russia withdrew from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Previously, it was reported that, on March 30th, 7 buses full of Russian soldiers with acute radiation syndrome from the Ukrainian Chernobyl nuclear power plant arrived in Belarus. They are believed to have been exposed to varying degrees of radiation. According to Energoatom, Russian soldiers left Chernobyl after being exposed to significant doses of radiation from digging trenches in the Red Forest, an extremely polluted area. Energoatom said the soldiers were frightened at the first sign of infection, which appears very quickly, and prepared to leave. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, is set to send a mission to the radioactive waste treatment facilities at Chernobyl. Earlier, the IAEA Director General also spoke with Ukrainian authorities and warned of serious risk if the reactors were attacked. Union News Agency reported that in the Mykolaiv region, a Ukrainian sniper intercepted a Russian military convoy and arrested a Russian officer there. This information was reported and confirmed by the command of shock teams of the Ukrainian armed forces. Accordingly, while this convoy was moving, the sniper intercepted the Lynx armored vehicle from the first position in the convoy, forcing the whole convoy to stop. During the combat mission around one of the settlements in Mykolaiv, Sniper Nikolai B of the 79th Reconnaissance Unit, Nikolai DSHV Air Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine gave the show's virtuosity in the use of conventional weapons, the statement of the command of the Ukrainian assault team stated. According to the announcement, during the movement of the Russian convoy, this sniper intercepted the Lynx vehicle of the 34th Motorized Rifle Brigade with an accurate shot. The car could not continue to move, so it caused a traffic jam for the whole convoy behind. This opportunity was quickly taken advantage of by the soldiers of the shock unit, who began to deploy grenade launchers and machine guns to fire on the ambushed Russian forces. Having suffered heavy losses, Russian forces was forced to stop the attack and retreat. Also in this battle, Sniper Nikolai captured an officer of the Russian forces. The announcement